Lindsey Vonn just posted a video on Instagram. After 2 weeks in a hospital bed, she revealed something nobody expected. She nearly lost her left leg. Not just broken bones, but almost an amputation. The crash we all watched 2 weeks ago was worse than anyone knew. This was not the story Lindsey told initially. When she crashed February 8th in the women's downhill, everyone knew it was bad. She was airlifted off the mountain. There were complex fractures and multiple surgeries, but Monday's video revealed what actually happened. Compartment syndrome is a life-threatening condition where pressure builds inside the leg and cuts off blood flow. She explained it this way: compartment syndrome is when you have so much trauma to one area of your body that there is too much blood and it gets stuck and it basically crushes everything in the compartment, so all the muscle and nerves and tendons, it all kind of dies. Without immediate treatment, she would have needed amputation. Dr. Tom Hackett saved her leg. He was Team USA's orthopedic surgeon, and he performed an emergency fasciotomy. Lindsey said he saved her from having the leg amputated. He performed a fasciotomy, cutting open both sides of her leg, almost filleting it open so the tissue could breathe. That emergency surgery released the pressure from compartment syndrome before it destroyed the tissue, and it prevented amputation. But that was just the beginning. 5 surgeries in 10 days. The 5th surgery happened on Wednesday, February 18th. It lasted 6 hours. Surgeons used plates and screws to hold her leg together. She posted x-ray images showing the hardware. Everything was in pieces and her leg was reconstructed over 6 hours. She had a complex tibia fracture, a fibular head fracture, a tibial plateau fracture, compartment syndrome, and a broken right ankle. It is a miracle she only had to stay 1 week in a hospital in Treviso, Italy. After that, she flew back to the United States and received a blood transfusion. In total, she spent 2 weeks in a hospital bed. Lindsey said this in her Monday video. It has been quite the journey, and by far the most extreme and painful and challenging injury I have ever faced in my entire life times 100. This is Lindsey Vonn. 3 Olympic medals, 82 World Cup wins, 20 years of crashes and injuries, and this one was worse than all of them combined. She nearly lost her leg. To understand how it happened, we need to go back. February 8th, Cortina, 13 seconds into her Olympic run. It happened during the women's downhill Milan Cortina Olympics. Lindsey Vonn, 41 years old, 6 years since retirement, but she came back. She won her first World Cup in 8 years. She made the podium in 7 of 8 races. She arrived at the Olympics atop World Cup downhill rankings. The gate opened. She pushed off. 13 seconds later, she clipped a gate. She went down hard. She was airlifted by helicopter off the mountain. Everyone watching knew it was bad, but nobody knew how bad. Lindsey was already competing on a torn ACL. She tore it shortly before the Olympics. She could have withdrawn, but she chose to race anyway. Her father, Alan Kildow, told the Associated Press after the crash that he wanted her to retire. She said no. She said that year was incredible and so worth everything. She said she had worked really hard to get back, and it was so worth it. She said it was just one blip on the radar, one blip, nearly losing her leg. The week in Treviso, Italy was a nightmare. Multiple surgeries happened immediately. Then compartment syndrome developed. Emergency. The pressure was building. Blood was trapped. Tissue was dying. Dr. Hackett performed the fasciotomy and saved her leg. Lindsey said she was really struggling. Pain was a little bit out of control, and she had a blood transfusion, which helped her a lot. And here is the irony. The torn ACL saved her leg. Dr. Tom Hackett was only in Cortina because Lindsey was competing with a torn ACL. He is her personal orthopedic surgeon, and he works for Team USA. He traveled specifically because she was racing injured. Without that ACL tear, he would not have been there. Without him there, no one recognized compartment syndrome in time. No emergency fasciotomy, no leg. Lindsey explained that if she had not torn her ACL, which she would have torn anyway with this crash, Tom would not have been there and he would not have been able to save her leg. The injury everyone questioned put the surgeon who could save her in the right place at the right time. After a week in Italy, Lindsey flew back to the United States. The 5th surgery happened on February 18th. It lasted 6 hours and involved reconstruction, with metal holding her leg together. And then came another tragedy. Her dog Leo died the day after the crash. 13 years with her, through every comeback, every injury, every victory. She said goodbye from her hospital bed in Treviso while fighting for her own leg. Her exact words were, "I said goodbye to my big boy as I lay in my hospital bed. Been some of the hardest days of my life, and I still have not begun to process his passing." The crash happened on February 8th. She nearly lost her leg, and then Leo died on February 9th. Her exact words about the injury were, "By far the most extreme and painful and challenging injury I've ever faced in my entire life, times 100. This is Lindsey Vonn, the greatest American female skier in history. 3 Olympic medals, 82 World Cup wins, more World Cup victories than any other American woman. 20 years of elite racing, dominating the most dangerous sport in the Winter Olympics. Countless crashes, countless injuries. This one worse than all of them combined. She has 0 regrets. She says she wished it had ended differently, but she would rather go down swinging than not try at all. She competed at 41 knowing the risks, with a torn ACL. Everyone questioned whether she should be there, but she chose to race, and she would do it again. She believes what she achieved was more than anyone expected to begin with. 7 podium finishes and a first World Cup win in 8 years. That was her record before the crash. Her fighter mentality sets her apart. After revealing she nearly needed amputation, she said life is life and we have to take the punches that come. And she is going to do the best she can with this one. It really knocked her down, but she compares herself to Rocky, and she will keep getting back up. She calls this injury one blip on the radar. She developed compartment syndrome and required an emergency fasciotomy, 5 surgeries, and she nearly lost her leg. Her dog Leo died the day after the crash. She spent 2 weeks in hospital. That is a perspective most people will never have. Here is what she is facing. She is currently wheelchair bound and cannot put weight on either leg. She hopes to move to crutches in a few weeks. Doctors estimate 1 year for her bones to heal, then an ACL repair. There is no timeline for skiing and no confirmation about retirement. Her father wants her to retire, but she has not said yes or no. Lindsey Vonn competed at the Olympics on a torn ACL. She crashed 13 seconds into her run and developed compartment syndrome. She nearly lost her leg and underwent 5 surgeries. She has 0 regrets. She refuses to live with what if. She went down swinging, and given the choice, she would do it all over again. Do you think Lindsey will ever come back? Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe because Lindsey is already talking about getting back up. That's Lindsey Vonn.